Dear Saintly Simon and brethren, and you are included, Bobby, in the brethren. I think we're using brethren generically.
That's okay.
Like guys.
I get it.
Is that okay? We can add the sisterhood if you
No, that's right.
I seek forgiveness on behalf of my beloved partner, Pablo, for a number of incidents which occurred one evening approximately 2 years ago. We had booked a hotel for an overnight stay on a busy Saturday. After a lovely stroll around Lytham, a visit to a number of hostelries, and a fine meal, we retired to the hotel, where there was a resident DJ playing our kind of music. We even had a dance before deciding to go to bed early, so that we were fresh for the day ahead. A hedonistic, no kids kind of day involving roller coasters, fish and chips, donuts, ice cream and whelks, if they took our fancy.
No.
Maybe not the Whelks.
Maybe not the whelks. That's why it was going pretty well.
It was going very well.
There's an interesting three-course meal, fish and chips, followed
Probably
by...
don't have them before you get on the roller coaster either.
Yeah. Interesting weekend, anyway. I was awoken later that night by a knock on the door. Realising that Pablo was not beside me, and the only other door, the bathroom door, was open, and he certainly wasn't in there, I stumbled out of bed to open it. There stood a very forlorn-looking Pablo, and a man seemingly in a management capacity at the hotel, who spoke like this. "Excuse me, madam. This gentleman appears to be lost and has been looking for you, but as this room is... He used to be a copper.
Yeah, he did. I'm
He
getting
was
that.
a copper just a few months
softly,
before.
From the 1950s, yeah.
That's right.
Go on.
But as this room is booked under your name only, I need to confirm that he's with you before I allow him into your room.
In a northerly direction.
Have you seen this gentleman before?" Now, at this point, I understood why the hotel manager had exercised a level of caution and hadn't just given Pablo our room number. I think I should point out that Pablo is a very well-built gentleman, a giant, in fact, very statuesque, but as big as a boulder and very, very muscular. He seemed a little dazed, but it was his attire that was the biggest surprise to me, because he wasn't wearing anything other than a large flannel. Or maybe it was a very small towel, difficult to tell. He managed it to tie it at the hips. It left very little to the imagination. I was tempted to say, never seen him before, but anyway, I claimed him and let him in. You see, Father Simon and brethren and the sisterhood, Pablo is a sleepwalker. It transpired that instead of getting out of bed and taking a left to the bathroom, Pablo took a right and ended up in the corridor, the door shutting and locking itself behind him. I had known him to sleepwalk before, but as it's such a rare occurrence, it hadn't occurred to us to block his exit into the public areas of the hotel. All he could say was, "Where were you? I couldn't find you." I didn't try to reason with him or try to volunteer that parading around the hotel in a face cloth was not my idea of fun. So anyway, we both went back to sleep. On waking, the events of the previous night came flooding back to Pablo. Apparently, this is a fairly common thing. If you sleepwalk, you do remember stuff the next day. I didn't know that. As we walked the corridors to the breakfast room, other triggers completed the puzzle. Pablo stopped outside one door and said, "Oh, this is the laundry cupboard, isn't it? I hid in there." Nobody passed, so I helped myself to something to cover me up. I resisted the urge to point out that actually there were bath sheets in there, which might have covered him slightly more adequately. He had actually chosen the smallest of all the items within. At reception, Pablo stopped again. "Oh, hang on. I came here last night to ask for help, but there was nobody here, so I went to the bar." Yeah, I went into the bar. Now, I have to say, we'd gone to bed early, and the bar was still very busy, so everyone must have been quite bemused by this naked giant, well, nearly naked giant, shouting, because it's my name, "I've lost hope!
Oh, no!
I need hope! I've lost hope!" Apparently one lady had shouted, "I'll give him hope." At this point, the night manager was located to help Pablo find his way back to me. You can understand it. Anyway, we made it to the breakfast room and to Pablo's 15 minutes of fame, where he received many knowing glances. "All right, big man." And a number of nods and winks from the other residents. Pablo, very embarrassed, ate his breakfast very quickly, suggested we check out early. We packed up and headed back downstairs to settle the bill. Only this time, we went a different way down to reception. On the way down the last corridor, he made a dramatic pause. "Oh no," he said. looking at one of those indoor topiary arrangements. I think I relieved myself on that last night. He was mortified and insisted that I told the people at reception while he hid in the car park. I settled the bill and confessed on his behalf. I'm very sorry, I said, and you may or may not know this, but my partner is a sleepwalker, and last night he got a little bit lost in the hotel. The staff were all very kind to him, made sure he found his way back to our room, but he's very concerned that he might have answered the call of nature on your topiary bush, and we would like to offer compensation for any damage done. Don't worry, madam, came the reply from the jolly receptionist. Oh, don't worry, madam, came the reply from the jolly receptionist as she gestured towards a bank of CCTV monitors to her side. I can verify that your husband did indeed water our topiary arrangement last night. My colleague and I watched him from here. Very entertaining it was too. Anyway, says Hope, Father Simon, forgiveness from the duty manager for having to bring him home wearing only a small towel, from any of the residents and other staff that got to see more of Pablo than they'd bargained for, and from the topiary bush. I also seek forgiveness you can't ask forgiveness from a bush, but anyway. I also seek forgiveness from Pablo because I have not told him to this day that he'd watered the plants, but I have told just about everybody else, including our kids. So he wasn't sure, he had a memory of it, but now I can confirm that he did do that, and he was on CCTV, and loads of people were watching him at the time. So this is Hope telling us the story about Pablo. I need hope. Anyway, it's an interesting sleepwalking. I don't think we've had a sleepwalking confession. Oh, really? I don't think so. Anyway, Sister Bobby, what are you saying?
It's what a lovely story, actually. I thought it was heartening because I loved the hotel staff and what they did. It's a good job he found the laundry cupboard before he found anything else.
Yes.
Because it seems at least the basics were covered, if not everything. And it seems that, he's quite a handsome chap. Well built, no offence. Anyway, moving on.
Go on.
To the lady that offered him hope. I think that would be taken advantage because he was still asleep, wasn't he? And the only thing I was thinking about this, because I find this easily to forgive, because it's not anyone's fault and no damage done and everyone was lovely.
However,
but maybe if you're in a hotel, maybe there should be something on the form. You fill in where you come from and where you've parked and everything. Maybe you should declare if you're a sleepwalker, so they can go, we've got a sleepwalker in the house. So maybe, I don't know, set up some kind of barricade so they can't get out.
It's the hotel's fault.
No, it's not the hotel's fault. I'm just saying it's never maybe been considered before. Declare you're sleepwalking when you go into a hotel. You are forgiven.
Forgiven from Bobby, which is a very rare thing. Treasure that one, Hope.
I'm also going to... there is a point here. As Bobby says, maybe there should be a form where you tick whether you're a sleepwalker. Also, whether you sleep naked. All is very fabulous and continental to be sleeping without your pyjamas on.
Yeah, because we're all going to fill that in on a questionnaire, aren't we?
You're in a hotel, probably put on some PJs. That would be my insight. So I am going to forgive, if only for the line, I'll give him hope. I definitely forgive for that. So yeah.